Well, good morning, friends. So I'm in North Carolina. This was a photograph my husband took this morning of the sunrise. Isn't that incredible? I brought very limited supplies with me. I do have my rows of paints, and I even forgot something to tape my paper down to, but I'm gonna try something different. I have been working with my oils recently at home, and now I'm in North Carolina, so I only brought my watercolors, but I'm going to replace the yellow in the painting here with some gold. I'm gonna see if this works. I have not tried the gilding wax on watercolor paper yet, so stick around and we're gonna check this out, see if it's gonna work. Hey everyone, it's Kelly here. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Whoop. This is my pup Avalon. We are in North Carolina and we are enjoying the warmer weather. Although Mississippi is pretty warm usually. We left during a massive ice storm and we actually got some snow. But this is our view for the next 2 months. Isn't this incredible? The beach is on the other side. There's this guy here kayaking, or what do you call it? Paddleboarding, sorry. I should know that, right? I used to have one. But anyway, I wanted to experiment today. I'm trying out the gold wax with watercolor paper. We're gonna see if it works. I'm using my 1.5 inch Princeton brush. Let's talk about supplies because I am very limited in my supplies. I did not bring a lot. I have my 1/4 inch Princeton Neptune dagger brush. Now, if you guys remember, this is what I used last year. I actually bought these 3 brushes and I still use them like crazy, and they're super easy to travel with. This is my Princeton number 1 inch script, not a 1 inch, number 1 script brush. I don't know if I use that one on this one or not. And then I also have a number 1, just a nice little squirrel hair brush with a little more of a moppy kind of thing. I have my rows of paints. I have my little kit. Love this kit. You can see I'm using the crap out of those paints. I have my Piplo gold wax, which we're gonna try. I have my Dr. Martin's bleed proof white. This thing dried out. I actually had to buy some new stuff. And I have my Strathmore watercolor cards, which I cut into half. I love to use these, really inexpensive way if you guys wanna try things out. And I do have my palette that I bought. I have my Rosa paints in here. And I'm not sure if I'm using all of these colors, but this is what is in my palette. So let's cover them. These are the 2 paints. This is the Cobalt Turquoise. I also have Turquoise, number 714. We have Naples Rose. We have Quinacridone Gold, 735. We have Olive Green, 713. Let's see, Yellow Ochre, 719. Magenta Rose, 709. Indigo, 717. I love the indigo color. We have, whoops, this way, Sepia, 720. We have a lot of blues. This is Ultramarine, number 715. Actually, a lot of reds or pinks too. This is Rose Madder, 726. Payne's Gray, 737. So I guess not as many blues as I thought. And Lavender, 742, which I don't think I'll use the lavender or the Quinacridone lilac, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with a little bit of Payne's Gray. I'm mixing like everything here. I have my palette, but my palette's already got stuff on it. So a little bit of Payne's Gray, very, very light. I'm going to mimic that, kind of that gray sky that we have in that beautiful picture my husband took. And I am starting off with that 1.5 inch flat wash, just turned sideways, grabbing a few other colors here again. It had tons of colors in the water, but we're doing this one really quick. This is my first test. Always fun to do this if you are trying something new, grabbing the smaller Strathmore watercolor paper and testing things out. It's especially if you don't know, I'm not sure really how that gold's gonna work on this paper, so really quick. This is like, I think it's like I don't know if it's 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that before I put the gold on. Adding a little bit of green. I've got some turquoise in there. I've got a little bit of purple. Did I even have the purple? Yeah, I guess I had the lilac. I'm trying to remember what I had here. I also may even have some Winsor Newton along the side here. Some colors from, I think it's violet from Winsor Newton. So again, just throwing in some color, trying to leave some white space. I'm not using masking fluid or anything, just the white of the paper. And I'm switching to the dagger brush. I've got a little bit of sepia in there. And then a little bit of the quinacridone gold across the bottom. Maybe a little bit of gray with that. It's not quite dark enough for that wet sand on the bottom. So I might add maybe a little brown, a little blue, a little quinacridone gold, a little rose. I don't know, I'm trying to come up with a color that's going to be just a little bit deeper here for that. I really need to have a little piece of extra paper along the side here. So it's almost like a lavender shade. I was trying to make that peach, but I don't want to add any of that white to it on this one. I end up doing it on the second one though, and you'll see that. If you are a patron, I have a second full video coming up on the second one. Once I got this one down, I ended up working on the second one a little bit longer and threw a little bit more detail in there. So again, with the yellow, the quinacridone gold, you could probably hear my pup. We have a tennis ball that she keeps wanting to play with, and her little feet are just tapping everywhere. She's trying to throw it to her dad now. So a little bit more brown in here, a little sepia, and I have a really pretty green, maybe a little purple in here. Again, I'm just mixing some colors up, trying to create something a little bit deeper for the wave on the underneath of that wave that's down in the front. So I am actually recording all of this with my phone, and then because I'm I'm not home. I wouldn't say I'm on vacation because I'm still doing my work, and my husband works from home as well, but I have my iPad and I have no microphone, so I apologize for the sound. But you know what? It's so much easier to keep things real and you're here with me hanging out, and that's really what this channel is about. It's not necessarily tutorials, it's just kind of me and what I'm doing for the day. That's what I feel like. Now on my website, I do have like the full classes that are fully edited and all that fun stuff, but I'm really enjoying like more of a live, less process, and you guys will have to let me know, do you even care like about edits and stuff? Do you like to watch the full painting? I mean, you can speed up, of course, if you want to. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. I also thought about maybe doing some just painting and just putting music to it. So I was trying to get something a little darker down in there. I added a little bit more of that violet, going back in with some more quinacridone gold, maybe a little sepia. And my dog's still walking around. I can't even adjust the volume on this thing. I've never done edits on my iPad. I've never added music. I've never done anything on my iPad as far as for videos and stuff. So this will be fun for the next few months while I'm here trying to figure this whole thing out. So, yeah, it is what it is, right? So you can see this is very abstract looking. I am not 100% sure about this. I am adding some gold in here where I'm going to, it's quinacridone gold, where I'm going to add that gold wax. Still wondering what this is going to look like. And I don't really have anything to apply the wax with. Obviously you could put it on with your finger, but I'm trying to do some fine lines. It's going to be tough. But I do have a palette knife, so I'm going to try to do that with a palette knife. So this is a lot darker in here. Again, I'm using my dagger brush and it's making these funny little marks, kind of like clouds. It's, like I said, very abstract looking. It's really kind of a hot mess. I'm not 100% feeling this, I'll be honest. But you know what? Sometimes it turns out all right. You put a mat around it, you put some gold in here, who knows? And I mean, there's a lot of color, and I'm trying to do this really quickly. So if you've been following the Create Weekly videos, this is kind of what we do. We kind of do it in like 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm really finding this fun for, I've always done like warm-ups anyway, but I really let loose. I have no pressure on myself as I'm painting this. And again, it's trial and error. It's just trying to learn, seeing, what things are going to do. So that's the best way to paint. If you are having fun with it, then you've got it. I mean, painting is very therapeutic, and it's not always about the outcome. Now, of course, if I'm doing commission painting or I'm putting something up on Etsy, because I do have a little Etsy shop, that's totally different. You know, you're gonna put more thought into it. But sometimes these little paintings that are just very freeing turn out really good. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you can keep working with them. Sometimes you can make them into bookmarks. So I have added a little bit of white. This is the Peach Martin. I'm trying to mix like I guess more of a peachy shade, kind of a peach pink. Keep adding a little bit more yellow to it. It's a little bit better. And it's kind of soft. It goes with the color. This is definitely more opaque because I've got the Peach Martin mixed in with it, just like if you would use like white gouache. Getting a little muddied there, but I know I'm gonna put some gold over the top. All right, so here we go. Here is the test. I've got a little tiny palette knife. This is like the smallest one I have. And I brought this thinking I was gonna use this gold on something. And I knew I had watercolors. So, you know, it makes kind of a nice little sorta-ish small circle. Got a lot on there. I'm gonna blend it in. I'm trying to get like that little glow where the sun hits the reflection on the water. Not the easiest thing to apply this with, I will say. I figured out something for the second one, so if you're a patron, you'll see what I figured out, and it did work a little bit better. So I'm going to smear a little bit more on the bottom. I don't really have much for waves down in here, but it's like the waves were crashing. That's where the sand was. Again, super abstract. I like abstract though. This is what I call my creative time. There's no pressure because I'm playing. It doesn't matter. That is still not very circular, is it? And I don't want to use my brush because if I use my brush, I'm going to mess it up because this is gold wax. It's not going to wash out of my watercolor brushes really well. And I will tell you a little secret, it's funny, I have used these before with this, but I rinsed them out really quickly afterward. I put it in Dawn dishwashing liquid and I thought I got it. And then I was filming and I was showing the brushes and you could see all the little gold, iridescent gold in the brush still. It never came out. It's still in there. But it didn't affect the brush somehow. Now, granted, this brush is not super expensive. I would never do that with my really expensive brushes, but sometimes I just try things. So I'm grabbing my little calligraphy pen, seeing if I can create those edges a little bit better. That didn't really work either. It sort of worked, got a little bit better, but it was, this stuff was already down there. It wasn't lifting it or anything. All right, so I think that is it. Now, I could use my metallic paints, but it just doesn't do the same thing. This stuff is awesome. The metallic wax, they use this basically on furniture. And if you followed me before, I actually did my dresser using this. I had an old black dresser that was a painted black dresser. It was in really bad shape, and I refinished it using this little tiny jar, and it lasts forever. It's like little metal particles coated with a binder of wax and acrylic, so it's super shiny, like really, really shiny. And I use this in another mixed media piece that I had done recently. So I'm having a lot of fun with this. It's great for picture frames. If you do emboss like cards, it works great on metal as well. So there's lots of little uses for it, and I've seen people use their finger. Make sure you're putting a glove on though if you're going to use your finger. And it is combustible, so it's a skin irritant and it's combustible, but cool. And it dried really, really fast. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing like it as far as that sparkle. Now looking straight on, it's not so great, but when you turn it to the side, like when you're walking by it, it's really cool. So we are almost at 18,000 viewers. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for hanging with me. I, do YouTube just for fun, and I'm a professional artist, but I teach classes. But it's really about just exploring, having fun, and I'm glad you're here, just hanging with me, getting to talk to you. So enjoy. Leave me a comment down below if you've tried this stuff before. Don't forget to hit the like button, and I would love to have you as a subscriber. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.